Queremos asegurar que esta interpretación va a estar en español y está disponible para este seminario si usted selecciona español en la interpretación de idiomas que usted puede encontrar abajo. También queremos preguntar si usted necesita español o que traducemos. Queremos asegurar que hay personas que necesitan este seminario que sea traducido en español. So, si usted prefiere en español, si pueden poner en el chat abajo, si puede confirmar español, por favor. I was just asking, I don't know if there's anyone here translating for a family member or loved one, but if you do need the Spanish translation, please, if you could just confirm to us, need Spanish translation in the chat, that would be amazing. Want to also remind everyone to please utilize the question and answer section down below at the bottom toolbar to ask your questions throughout the presentation. We will answer these questions by the end of the presentation. Some may be responded to, and we definitely have a Q&A portion as we close. This webinar will be recorded. I want to let everyone know of that. And a copy of the recorded presentation and the slides will be available after our presentation comes to a close. Next slide, please. So you all know who I am. I'm going to allow for my fellow school counselors to also introduce themselves at this time.
Hello, I'm Alexandra Vargas. I'm the school counselor at Ascensia K-8 and Oso Grande Elementary.
And hi there, I'm Liz Shawley, and I'm the school counselor at Oso Grande Elementary.
Hi, everybody, and I'm Tom Bogatsis. I'm the school counselor over at Ladera Ranch Middle School.
Hi, everybody. I'm Shannon Halbert, and I'm the school counselor at Sarah High School.
Awesome. Next slide, please. So this is our lineup of amazing counselors that we have here this evening. Just want to highlight for you all some of our objectives that you can see here over to the right that we'll be covering this evening. A full buffet, full assortment of topics, considerations for this summer as we get ready to close. Definitely an unforgettable 2020-2021 school year. So we hope, and our objective is that we can learn about key strategies to support your students' social, emotional, and academic needs, in particular to over this summer break. Next slide, please. So now to begin, I'm going to go ahead and allow for my good friend, counselor and colleague, Alex Vargas.
Thank you, Omero. So I'm going to go ahead and start off this portion talking about some essential components for summer that are really basic. So we're going to talk about family time, playtime, and downtime. So I got this information from a presenter named Denise Pope. She's a researcher at Stanford University. So it's research-based, and it's based on her findings that anxiety and depression have been at an all-time high in recent years. So she has found that these components are the most important things for adolescent mental health. So the first one is family time, and summer is naturally a great time for reconnection with family. You're hopefully home more, or at least your student is home more, and maybe you're going on vacations, and there's that intentional planned family time. And so especially with kids who are students who are older, getting into that adolescent stage, they may want to separate a little bit more from the family unit, but really creating that safe and supportive space for them to come back to over summer and reconnect, so important for that sense of belonging that they really need at this age, even though they may push back against it, right? So with younger kids, it's definitely nice to have more dedicated family time. And this leads to greater self-esteem and positive academic outcomes the earlier you start it. So that's it for family time. We'll go ahead and look at the next slide. Thank you. So getting into playtime, again, this one kind of sounds like it's meant for younger kids, but all kids, even adults, can really benefit from just play. Play really increases creativity and just allowing for bored time, just boredom. And if your kid comes to you, I'm so bored, really just let them be that way and say, I wonder what you're going to do. I wonder what you're going to plan to do or find to get into or explore. So this is really unstructured time that you don't have like necessarily play dates or activities, but really just engaging with whatever they have at home or outdoors, and usually tech-free too. We really want to encourage, because we know kids have spent so much time on screens this year and they need to get outside. So a couple other things is if they are playing with kids, I know I have a picture of like little kids here. Again, I want to try to make sure we're addressing K-12, but for the younger kids, you want to allow them to problem solve without interference. I know a lot of times we want to jump in, help them, share or take turns, but that's really how they learn to play fairly and learn those like cognitive skills. And in addition, this is how they build their language and social skills. They're talking about what they're doing, interacting, it's coming naturally. Some kids might need more support with that. So, definitely keep that in mind. But as they get older, taking back that support while still making sure that kids are playing in a safe environment. And then another component here is it does help with self-regulation when you allow for unstructured play, and that helps with managing emotions. So I think we have some good examples coming up in the next few slides. So here's some, I don't have to tell you, but here's some reasons that off-screen activities are so beneficial. So better for your mind and body. Here are the benefits here: improving physical health and sleep, social connections, and just building community. And then again, that free time to play and explore, and overall boosts your mood. And again, this is research-based. So, you don't have to take it just from us, but know that this is from an evidence-based center, the Mayo Clinic. Go ahead. Okay, we have a cute little video here for you. We're just going to watch a little snippet of it. Around 2 minutes, I believe, is where this cute little boy starts telling us what we can do without screens. Thanks, Liz. Hopefully this sounds
here
works.
are 10 activities you can do while you're home. So the first one is exercise. You can do sit-ups, push-ups, or even play outside. Number 9 is creative play. You can do hide and seek and play with toys. Number 8 is chores. One of my chores is to take care of Shelly. Mark, get set. Number 7 is games. Number 6 is cooking or baking. Try making cookies or pizza. Number 5 is find a good book to read. Number 4, learn something new or just take care of yourself. Number 3 is arts and crafts. In this picture, I'm using beads to make bracelets. Number 2 is learning. Since we're out of school, we have to keep on learning new things. Number 1 is stay connected with your friends and family. Try to use all these fun things as a family at home. Here are a few things to remember. Stay healthy, wash hands, enjoy family, stay positive, and click that notification and subscribe and give it.
Thank you. So if you don't believe me, listen to him.
Hi,
He's got
everybody.
the
Welcome.
cutest suggestions. Thank you. All right, here are some more suggestions. I know it might be difficult to read right now. Feel free to take a picture. Again, this is going to be available for you, so you can go to the link here, but there's a lot of ideas here if you're just racking your brain for what am I going to have my preschool age, or it goes up to teen age kid do to stay busy during summer. Some of my favorites, sorry, I was going to say one of the preschool ones, I was looking at this earlier. I love the idea of having them fill a bucket with water and have them like paint the outside of your house. So easy and doesn't make a mess at all. And they feel like they're really doing something cool. So that's a fun one. And then elementary, I thought I had a good one here too. Like a hunt for birds and butterflies. So send them on a scavenger hunt, getting you out in nature, really good for your just mental health and getting them outside. Okay, next slide. Again, several examples here, so feel free to peruse that on your own time, but it's nice to kind of have different ideas when you're just racking your brain and you're thinking there's not many things to do without a screen. There really is. So give your kid this list and have them check it off. We'll keep going. Thank you. So here's specific outdoor art imagination activities, and these are really good for creativity. So this could be something in that playtime phase, again, that's not just for little kids, but ramping up that outdoor time and building creativity. So again, these are examples I'll let you look at if you access the presentation after. We'll keep going. Are we stuck? Okay, so the last component in this little section here is downtime. We've talked about time with family and then time for play. This is total unstructured time just for rest and relaxation. So again, this researcher found that our kids are very overscheduled and overstimulated. And I think we see that in our schools too. Kids have, you know, jujitsu, and then they have tutoring, SAT prep, and then they go to baseball. It's a lot all the time. And so this actually has been correlated with higher levels of stress, anxiety, and even depression. So, and please look for the research at the Challenge Success Project in Stanford if you're more interested in that, but really important to build in time for rest. And if you don't have time during that day, at least make sure your kids are getting that adequate sleep. And so the hours are listed here. Those elementary students, 9 to 11 hours per night, and teens 8 to 10. So definitely want to prioritize sleep, and then avoiding tech before bedtime, because of course tech does stimulate the brain and disturb sleep. So downtime, super important for that physical and emotional health. Next. And this is a good example or a good visual for some different ways to take a break during that downtime. Moving on. So I know I've just talked about a lot of ways to kind of relax and reconnect, but if you are really wanting academic support for your students, there are options. Now, I will preface this by saying it's totally fine to not do anything academic over summer. There's really no pressure to do that, but we recognize all students are at different levels, and some may need that extra support because they were impacted more by COVID than others. So the COVID slide or the summer slide is a common term right now, and these are some options to look at for summer support if you do need that academic help. The first is the CUSD summer program, or just commonly known as summer school. For elementary school, it is by invitation only based on district data. So you'll want to talk more to your administrator if that's something you're interested in, and it's focused on English language arts and math, so those core subjects. For middle school, there is the opportunity for accelerated students that want to get ahead to take health and geometry to kind of have more room for those advanced classes in high school. There's also a summer academy with 2 sessions that you can look into. And again, look more into your, or, you know, talk to your administrator, but look more into this link below that's provided if you want more specific info. And finally, high school, there is the summer school session. This is for remediation. So where you need to make up credits. And there is online option, which is really, really great, and in person as well. And you'll want to talk to your academic advisor at your high school site to look more into that. So that's for summer school. Next slide. And this slide is more about enrichment activities. So if you want to have something additional that's not like for credit or not really school, but online learning activities, and your students may be very familiar with all these things already. So things like Khan Academy for math, iReady, your students have been doing a lot of that already. And some popular, more fun learning activities that are almost like games, popular ones, Brain Pop, the Nat Geo Kids are some good ones. And then for secondary, you'll see the list here. College Board has a few different options, and then some reading like the Common Lit and the Learning Network are some good ones for English enrichment. Again, not for credit, but just some enrichment options, and you'll see the links are here too. Next. Thank you. So that concludes my portion. I'm going to hand it off to Mrs. Shannon Halbert.
Hello, everybody. I'm Shannon, and I'm the school counselor at Sarah High School. So self-care is definitely an important thing to do any time of year, and especially after the stress of what we have gone through during this last year. So during this school year, parents, caregivers, and students have a lot of responsibilities that may lead us forgetting to take care of our personal needs. And this is particularly true for parents or anyone with significant caregiving responsibilities. While it can be hard to prioritize self-care when you have so many other items on your plate, self-care is extremely important. Clearly it is, for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It can also help with stress management. So over the summer break, make time to prioritize self-care for yourself, your children, and your family. Over the next few slides, we will provide some easy ideas for you and your family to implement. Next, please. Okay, so self-care means that you are simply being mindful of your own needs, so you are better able to support the people you care about. When you take care of yourself and are not stressed, you can better meet the needs of others, of course. Self-care comes in a variety of forms. Here are a few ways you can begin to include self-care into your daily routine. So example would be practice meditation or deep breathing for a few minutes, get active and exercise, take a break, even if it's hiding in your car. Done that a couple times. Make a lunch date with your friends or family and take time to do things you just love to do, like reading, journaling, those kind of things. Next slide. So a great way to teach self-care to your children is to incorporate it into your family time. Then it's more natural and easy. Children and teens learn a lot by watching you, of course. It is important for you to model these healthy coping skills and self-care activities. Here are a ton of great self-ideas for the whole family. So the like social teaching positive things is nice. It is in the mental, just reading together if you can, meditate together if you are comfortable doing that. In the practical, make a weekly cleaning check-in. A lot of times people are less stressed when they have things in order. Next slide. And once your children have a better idea of what self-care is, you can make sure that they begin this daily habit by incorporating activities that make them feel happy. So I think that when they become habits, it's a natural thing that they'll do every day. And some easy activities they can do are spending time outside, choosing healthy snacks to fuel our bodies, getting exercise, which was talked about with Alex, taking a bath or shower, which I actually personally love water, listening to music, writing in your journal, walking in nature, spending time with loved ones, and reading a book. Any of those will work. Next slide. Now this is, character strengths is something that in the early 2000s, scientists got together to study character more scientifically. And together they came up with the VIA classification of character strengths and virtues. And think about your family and your friends and who would be described as the one that never quits or the one that makes everyone laugh. By learning our character strengths, we can learn how and why we think and behave in a certain way, which in turn enabled us to live the life we actually want to live. Next slide. Now, each of us has a unique blend of 24 character strengths that we have developed over time. They are the positive parts of our personality that impact us daily, and they are the real us. So as you can see here, there are 6 main virtue categories with the strengths listed beneath them. Just by looking at the table, you'll be able to see the qualities you have in abundance and those you would like to grow. I use this table actually a lot when there are kids who are kind of feeling negative about themselves, and this reminds them that they have a lot of good qualities that they have forgotten about, that they don't think about on a regular basis. So it's really good to do with your children too. Next slide. Now, if you would like to go deeper and identify which are your top character strengths, you can take the character strengths survey. This is a 15-minute survey for youths and adults to find out how their strengths are ranked and defined. So you can take a picture of the QR code or go to the link listed above and it will take you to the survey. Next slide. Now, after the survey, you get a free character strengths profile. This is a screenshot of my top 5 strengths, although it lists all 24. As you can see, it gives the strength as well as the definition underneath it by clicking on the plus sign. Our entire school staff actually took the survey, and it helped greatly in understanding each other and what's behind our actions and why we do what we do. This can be tremendously helpful in giving support, appreciation, and tolerance to others. It was a wonderful experience that not only helped me, but I actually did with my entire family. And you will have all of this at the end of the presentation also. Next slide. And next we have the wonderful Omero Corral.
Thank you, Shannon. And Shannon's providing just some great and a wealth of information that really ties into this next piece of our discussion this evening on the importance of coping skills. Definitely going to tie in with her discussion on self-care and also in this building of character traits as she was speaking. So I just want to, we can please jump over to the next slide. Formally identify or speak to coping skills. This is something your kiddos down from elementary through their years here in Capo Unified are hearing from the school counselors. And I'm sure all my other buddies here this evening, my colleagues are nodding their head as well. We address this with our students because there is a need for coping skills at times, even on our campuses, whatever school site your kiddo may be at, elementary, middle, or high school. But coping skills to formalize the language, they help you to tolerate, minimize, and deal with stressful situations in life. They are not all created equal, though. Sometimes it is tempting to engage in strategies that will give quick relief, but might create bigger problems for you down the road. It's important to establish healthy coping skills. So this summer, as you're considering different programs, different supports for your children, we definitely would recommend that you do consider addressing thoughtfully coping skills for them, whether it's a little bit more lax or, to speak a little bit how Alex spoke earlier, unstructured time when they are just doing things that make them feel better or relaxing to just help to get through this truly memorable year that we've gone through in all the different levels that our students are at. It is important to understand that maybe the way that you cope, that you deal, that you relax over the summer might not necessarily be the same way you may utilize coping skills when we do get back in the fall and come back to school. So if I can get my next slide, please. And here's just a good graphic to just give a couple of big umbrella sections of coping skills. Some coping skills are emotion focused. So you may be exercising, encouraging your kiddos to do so this summer with a little bit more structured or subjective time, taking a bath, giving yourself pep talks, meditating, whatever it might be. And those are great and those are awesome. But at the same time, like I said, we will sooner probably than we would like, especially if you talk to our students, we will be ramping up and getting closer towards returning back to school in the fall. So problem-focused coping skills, our counselors talk about the emotion, but also the problem-focused coping skills with our students in managing your time, asking for support, establishing healthy relationships, establishing healthy boundaries or creating a to-do list. These are things, if you're jotting down notes or going to be reflecting on this presentation afterwards, are definitely points of conversation, and maybe think about ways in which you can foster support those coping skills for your kiddos. We still have some time before their school year is over, so I definitely wouldn't stray away from considering to maybe call your school counselor at your student's elementary, middle, or high school. They may have some rapport with your student, be able to give you something specific to consider over this summer. But coping skills is definitely going to be something that your counselors continue to speak to, support for our students. So over this summer, be a great topic to consider and support your students with. If I can get my next slide, please. And I want to transition the conversation a little bit more over towards community service with a little bit more subjective time over this summer, or however it is that you want to structure this time for your student. Community service may be something you hadn't considered until this presentation, or you strongly were. So we want to give a little bit of guidance for that. Next slide, please. So benefits of community service. I want to highlight 4 here. Volunteering, serving, supporting your community increases social and relationship skills. You're coordinating with whatever program or organization. You're maybe coordinating with other individuals on the project or the assignment. And as we all know, I can definitely speak to at the middle school level. I know my high school counselors, elementary counselors, everyone at different level has experienced how this pandemic, its effect over our schools has definitely impacted the social skills of our students, the relationship building that they've had. If your student is potentially new to a school this year, potentially from another school or another school district, you definitely, I know, can see how social and relational skills have had an impact over this year. And community service and volunteering may help to support those skills. Also, if you do this as a family, this is a great memory, experience, time together as a family. In particular, if you're servicing or supporting your community, you might not look at that park or that location, wherever the service is happening happening after doing it together as a family. Point three here, volunteering is good for your mind and body. It tethers with what I just spoke to not long ago about a coping skill. Many times, when you're giving of yourself, when you're providing a service that's either supporting others or your community, it does do something for yourself and improving your overall mood. And last but not least, it definitely brings fun and fulfillment to your life, especially if you work on a project that is open out in the community, something that it will leave a lasting effect or imprint on the community. It's fulfilling to drive by, walk by, play by, if it's at a park or wherever it might be, to see your service, to see your project, your volunteerism active, and the way it positively affects your community. Next slide, please. So now going a little bit more specific outside of being a little bit general on its supports, when you conversate, it's you and your spouse, or considering what you like for your children or including them in the conversation, it's important to think about what are some common interests that the family has in supporting the community. I'm not 100% versed on where exactly everyone lives, but you spend the most time in that community. There may be something or a project somewhere where you see support, or you might just want to, as a family, think about what specifically you would like to do in terms of a service, a community service to where you might live. If your older student wants to volunteer on his or her own, sit with them and help them discover what they are passionate about. What do you see as their strengths that could help their community? Or if there is more of a long term in terms of their profession, connections, and building within the community, if you wanted to support them and guiding them towards a particular service that may line up with a future career or endeavor, it definitely doesn't hurt to get a win-win out of it in serving your community, building relationships that may support them after their K through 12 education here with us at Capistrano Unified. And research volunteer opportunities within your community. Not only should you talk, think about what do we want to do, where do we want to go, but here are some great websites in Volunteer Match, All for Good, Just Serve, DoSomething.org. All of these are .orgs, where once you've had the conversation, once you know where you want your student to go, how you want your family to serve or volunteer in the community, starting at any one of these 4 websites is a great starting point to find then now formally where are we going to go, how are we going to serve, how are we going to volunteer. Next slide, please. So in closing on this small piece of this evening's presentation, a final thought: through community service, students gain real world experience and can practice important life skills such as leadership. However the coordination goes, your student, your child may be asked or tasked to lead. Again, a great skill set that they can take with them after their K through 12 years. Problem solving, time management, teamwork, social responsibility, communication, and the ability to work with others different from yourself, other individuals from your community or other portions of the community that maybe you don't connect with as often. These are all just some great pieces that can come from community service should you choose to support your student or your family in going this direction over this summer. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I want to go ahead and hand over the next portion of our presentation to a good friend of mine, good colleague of mine, in Liz Shawley. Take it away, Liz.
Thanks so much, Omero. So now I want to share a little bit of information for any of our families who have students transitioning either elementary to middle school or middle school to high school. You've got a big transition coming, and I wanted to provide some information that could hopefully help you. So how can you help your 5th grader get ready for middle school? Some of the most important things that we need to work on to make sure that we're ready are our organizational skills. We want to encourage our students to be reading every day, practicing their math facts, practicing those fraction and multiplications. Those are a really important part of the math when they get into middle school, to be the most prepared. And you can make sure that they watch the transition to middle school lesson that's available in Canvas from all of their school counselors. Also, take this opportunity to talk to your kids about this being a chance for a fresh start. It's a great chance to make new friends. It's a great chance for them to go in and be themselves, be the person they want to be, have those conversations about what kind of qualities they should be looking for in friends. Finding friends that they can be themselves around is such a key component of having a successful few years in middle school. Also find opportunities. We gave a lot of great examples already, but look for opportunities to build responsibility and independence over the summer. And one big thing their students are often nervous about when they get to middle school is how to use lockers. If your middle school has lockers, I encourage you to practice this over summer. In the Canvas lesson, there's actually a video kind of walking our students through that, but maybe buy a lock, take it home, practice it a few times just so they feel a bit more comfortable. And I always recommend, once you get your student schedule, to go and walk the campus, help them find their classes so that on that first day of school, it's not so scary and they'll know where they've got to go next. Also, check out your local middle school's incoming 6th grade information page. Each middle school has a page like this, and it's got really great pertinent information about enrollment, math placement, summer school info, elective info. Really, a lot of the questions that you have are probably answered right here, so it's a great place to check out first. So, how can you help your 8th grader get ready for high school? Again, organization is so important in this transition. We, as counselors, are always encouraging our students to really get used to the task of using a planner. So we would encourage them to practice that over summer, keeping to a schedule, setting some sort of schedule that's going to work for them during those, summer months. And also know your resources. Schools are full of people who are here to support you and your student. And I think it's really a great way to start the year by having a list of those who are there to support you. Your teachers are there, your counselors are there, your academic advisors, your administrators, your office staff, but knowing who those people are that you can go to for your student and for yourself when you need any help. Also, there are so many fun opportunities in high school to get involved, to learn about themselves more. We encourage our students to check out all the club fairs when they have them so that they can kind of try new things and get to know them a little bit more just beyond those academics. All of our local high schools also have an 8th grade parent information page, and this is a really great page to get lots of really important information. Check out the A through G requirements, really good thing to get comfortable with. You can learn more about athletics, what seasons, if your student's thinking about trying out for those, and more information about honors AP and a lot of other important things. Hopefully you can take this time over the summer to enjoy, but also get ready for this exciting transition. Next, I'm going to be introducing Tom Bogatsis to share about some amazing opportunities available in our local area.
Thank you, Liz. Thanks so much. Great job. I wanted to just the next few slides, we're talking more about local enrichment classes, which are available in our community, and they're awesome. They're really amazing. We'll start with Saddleback College. And if we go ahead and please click on the Saddleback link, it's for ages 3 through 17, and they have 3 different sessions. If we scroll down just a little bit, you'll notice there's session 1 in June, session 2 is available in July, and session 3 in August. And if you go to the right of this slide right here of this page, you'll see the Edge, which is right below College for Kids. If we click on the Edge is really an awesome program, which is a partnership with Capistrano Unified. And they really talk about the core curriculum that we teach here at school in middle and high school. And it gives your child the opportunity to take a reading comprehension course, writing skills. If you scroll down just a little bit further, I think you'll see math critical concepts. You're also able to take middle school and high school algebra and geometry. So this is just a really great way to see what Saddleback has to offer over the summer for your child. And I did want to mention, I neglected to mention the College for Kids just really quickly. They're really what they do is they provide an experience for your child, a virtual experience with college. So they're able to have offerings such as reading, computers, science, study skills, film animation. So some really, really great stuff there. Irvine Valley College is running sessions from June 21st until August 6th. And if you can please click on that link. And you'll notice if we just scroll down just a little bit, if you click over on the class schedule, we don't have to do that because it'll just take up a little bit more time. But I will tell you, it's about a 25-page catalog that offers probably over 35 different enrichment classes for students in elementary, middle, and high school. So that's just a great way to see what Irvine Valley has to offer. Next slide, please. And then our summer county-wide program. So if we were to click where it says all over Orange County, the academic, arts, and sports outdoors, please. And if you scroll down right to where it says educational camps and academic enrichment, we need to go up just a little bit further. It's actually the third one. Yep, perfect. And if you scroll down, you'll see there's just so many different offerings. Again, elementary school age children all the way to your high schooler. There's just so many different offering, writing camp, art camp, just so many different things. So feel free to look through that. And I would just suggest taking the time to go back to the home pages of these schools and organizations just to check up, because within the last week, I even noticed that they updated some programs, they added some sessions, they added some different things. So it's always good to just go back and check up on these links and the different programs. The YMCA Day Camp, if we click on that link, please. And right there, you'll see Camp Ignite. And Camp Ignite is really all about the STEM programs here. And they talk to kids, elementary age students. They take them on field trips, activities, and you'll see what the camps offer. It's Monday through Friday normally, and they're offered at different locations in Capistrano Unified starting on June 7th. Laguna Niguel and Aliso would be one location, and the other location would be Mission Viejo, Ladera Ranch, and Rancho Santa Margarita. And then the third location in Capistrano Unified is Dana Point, San Clemente, and San Juan. And then the OC Public Library, I'll just quickly talk about the public library. They offer so many great programs, including a virtual program, grades K through 12, which is the first section that you can see right up on the screen. Below that, we see a teen program. It's really a book club, and they offer a book club the first and third Thursday of each month. So it's a great way to get your kids into the routine of reading and getting that commitment from them. And then the last part's a summer reading challenge, which is offered from June 12th through July 31st. Next slide, please. And then our camps here, the Emerald Cove Day Camp, if we could just click on that link really quick, the Del Obispo Elementary School, they are dedicated to teaching elementary school age children the life skills that they need in elementary school, and it's all about fun and games, just showing your child a great time and really teaching them at the same time. And then Camp Galileo is what's offered here at Ladera Ranch. We have the elementary school side and the middle school offering Camp Galileo. And really what that is, it's dedicated to the next generation of scientists. We have our rocket scientists, we have our engineers, designers, and really just our big thinkers and our creative type of kids who would really benefit from a Camp Galileo experience. And that's grades pre-K through 7. And then Camp Invention is grades K through 6. It's offered at Chaparral Elementary School, Castile, and Las Palmas. And basically, they also do a STEM program through their camp. And that's a great way to get some more information about engineering and math and all of that information in the sciences. Next slide, please. And what our counselors did here, we have an elementary school link, a middle, and a high school link. If we could just please click on the middle school link. I'll just show you one. And all the schools are very, very similar. We do have a section on parent support, fun activities and games. We have field trips that you can take with your child. We have some screen time tips. And below that, we have even webinars, I believe, in video. So all of those links are specific to the elementary school, the middle school, and your high school age student. And you can click on those for more useful tips from the COSD counseling team. Now what I'd like to do is we are going to, and I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight, but what I'd like to do now is just take a minute. If you can complete a survey for us, we'll place the link in the chat. It'll take you about a minute. It's really quick. And then after we are done with that, we can open it up to question and answer for the group. So I'll give you about a minute to take our survey. Thank you so much. Okay, great. And we will be getting out that link. I know a couple of you have been asking about the link. We will be getting that out. I'm not sure if we have that right now, but we will be getting it out to the participants after the webinar. And this is also being recorded, and it'll be located on our district homepage where you'll be able to see the whole presentation. And again, thank you so much for doing the survey. I did want to just I'm looking under the question and answer part. We don't have any specific questions, but I would like to just say again, it's been a challenging year for all of your children. It's been a tough school year, but a lot that we've learned from resiliency. And I would just say for the summer, give them that break, give them the 2 weeks to take a break. But I would also highly recommend having that structured time and also making a commitment to 1 or 2 or 3 things, goals that they can attain, that they can reach, socializing, being part of an enrichment class, just being out with friends. If they need to read books that they love to read, let them read the books they love to read, 3 or 5 or 6 different books that they can spend time at their leisure reading. Just as much structured time is really gonna benefit them when they return to school in the fall, especially for the kids that are transitioning in from 5th into 6th grade and also from 8th into 9th grade. So I'll give you another a minute or 30 seconds to see if anyone else has any questions. We'd be happy to answer them. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your attendance tonight. I know everyone's schedule, you're so busy. We appreciate you being here tonight. And do not hesitate to reach out to any of the school counselors at any of our schools here in Capistrano Unified if you'd like additional information on what we talked about tonight, or you just need additional resources on getting more specifics on the organizations we discussed and the tips we talked about tonight. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Let's see.